Hey all, new day, new verses. We continue on into Isaiah. Today we're going to be picking up with digging into verse 9 through 11 just for a little bit. And as we talked about Wednesday, I already have the mindset we're going into it. So Father God, just thank you for this time. Thank you for letting us dig into your word. Thank you that you care about the least of these. Thank you that you will take people who are completely messed up and make us whole. That you're not afraid of getting your hands dirty to make us clean. And that is exactly what you did when you died in our place. Not just for the justice others would see done, and the justice we would see done. No more need to traffic in red in the ledger, as it's all been scrubbed clean. Lord, let us throw out the book of debts, and remember you have written our names in the book of life, that we might spread life wherever we go. Disciples of you, our life light King. Show us the way, Yeshua. Lead the way, Jesus. Help us, O Heavenly Father. That your kingdom come and will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Lord, thank you for the provision. Continue to pour it out. Keep us forgiving. It is in forgiving others that you forgive us. Lead us not into temptation and deliver us from evil. Rely in His power and glory forever and ever. Amen. I love that last little bit there. All right, so digging on into it, verse 9, chapter 44. How foolish are those who manufacture idols. These prized objects are really worthless. The people who worship idols don't know this, so they are put to shame. Who but a fool would make his own god, an idol that cannot help him one bit? All who worship idols will be disgraced, along with all these craftsmen, mere humans who claim they can make a god. But they may all stand together, but they will stand in terror and shame. And part of this is what I wanted to dig into, because this is kind of the header that gets into the idea here. Is this idea, it's like, it is a foolishness to manufacture idols. Not just like, because I mean, there's a fecal matter kind of thing. It's the Hebrew idea for the word here, but because we are the tselem, the actual hey, this is an image bearing idols for the actual like hey, this is the thing we worship. Those ideas are referenced as being a bit of fecal matter because well, they kind of are, and they are because of what they do to us. And here's the thing. It's not just the ancient idols like, oh yes, I don't worship Dagon or Molech, so I'm good. Okay. But is it more important to you to be right in the conversation than it is to see the person you're talking with? Is one more second of game time more important than a conversation of the person with the person next to you? It's just that last dollar more important than the person you started earning it for in the first place. That's these kind of idols. Because they're not just the ones in the ancient world, they're any kind of idol. They're any kind of prized object that we deify. Whether it be a person, a place, or a thing. I mean, once upon a time, I remember, oh, Hawaii, we'll all go to Hawaii, okay. And the Bahamas, and the, place. Oh, I want to be like Mike. Oh, I want to be like Kobe. I want to be like, etc. person. Oh, man, look at this brand new car. Oh, gotta have the brand newest Lexus. Gotta have the wonderful Tesla or X, Y, or Z thing. When the possessions have you, that's the problem. The issue isn't having possessions. The issue is possessions having us. Like the young rich man, right? Okay, I've done all these. What else should I do? Sell all your possessions. Give them to the poor. Then come hang out with me. He's taken aback and he walks away and he's disheveled. Oh, tell you it's easier to ride a camel through the eye of a needle than it is for a rich person to get into heaven. Well, then who has any chance at all? Peter asks. No one, if you're thinking your human power. But with God, everything is possible. That young rich person, his possessions had him. The idea in Acts, when everybody gave and sold their stuff and there was no idea of mine, it was community, it was collective. That's the idea that was getting at here. And I love the fact that Ananias and Sapphira, right? Well, I mean, is this what you got paid for it? Yes, falls down dead. Guys, it was your money, and then the wife too falls down dead. Guys, it was your money to begin with. Nobody was twisting your arm. We don't need your shit. We don't need your stuff. God is the provider of everything. Give what you feel to give. If it is in your heart to say, oh, I need to write a $100 check for this thing at this time in this location, do it. If it's in your heart, yeah, I need to give this guy a meal, do it. Simple. Because that simple act of obedience, those random, seemingly random acts of kindness, those change the world. And those who worship idols, those who make these prized objects that are worthless, the people, they don't know it. And so when you don't realize that this thing you've been coveting your entire life really doesn't have any meaning, it feels a shameful thing. When you realize, oh, the grass wasn't greener. When you realize, oh, that wasn't worth it. Oh, when you realize that, oh, hey, no. When you finally meet your hero, when you finally grasp that idol and realize, oh, there was nothing to it. It's shameful and it's painful. And part of me wants to say is it's boring to think about, but only because I don't like remembering all of those different places where I had those, yeah, wow, was I proven a fool moment. Because I was so interested on the thing, I didn't see the people, the places, I didn't see any of it. I was just blind. And when I finally got the thing that I thought was so important, realized there was absolutely nothing to it, it made me feel even worse because it's like, great. Now not only do I have to realize that what I was aiming for has absolutely no value, I have to deal with the fact that what I did to get it. Yeah, that's great. That's awesome. Crap. And that's the kind of shame we're dealing with here. Shame that the Lord comes to take away if we'll let him. Because he always is not going, shame, 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 like it's something out of Game of Thrones. This is God pointing out the very truth of it. Who but a fool would make his own God? An idol can't help him out one bit. Who but somebody who is blind to these things? Who doesn't understand, who is completely lost to it, would understand, oh wait, it can't help me. And we're going to go on to it in the next weeks, not just with the blacksmith, but with the wood carver too. I encourage you to read ahead about this kind of image, about being blind to it. And so the people who worship these idols, they end up disgraced when they realize, oh, hey, there was nothing to this idol. The people who make them, the people who say, oh, this is what you need to go for. Oh, you just need a whatever size waist, whatever size bank account, whatever size muscles, whatever size dick, whatever size tits, whatever is needed. That's what the world focuses on. That's what it goes for. That's not how we play. That's not our aim. And so when people make these idols up and say, oh, you just need this to be happy. Oh, you need $140,000 in the bank account and be able 2 cars, a white picket fence, a house to get it all, blah, 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 blah. Those are idols. Those are the idols. Because they end up becoming more important to God. And the people who put them up and say, oh, this is what's more important, are proved to shame when, oh, hey, look, that's not attainable anymore. It's not. So, hey, how'd that work out for you? So, yeah, the claiming to make a God, claiming to make a thing worth worshiping, claiming to make a thing worth devoting your whole life to. Because that's what it is. It's a whole life devotion to this person, place, or thing other than the Creator. The Creator who says, if you want to love me, love others. As opposed to worldly gods who say, no, just step over that one person so that you can get the raise. Just abuse that one person so that you can get ahead in the relationship. Oh, just screw with this one little thingy so you can get it your way. Don't you deserve the win? A kind of enemy on the shoulder mentality That's what shows the terror and shame. Because all of the ones who stood together, worshipping the idols offered because, oh, Oprah said it's what we need. As much as Oprah herself, standing together in shame, realizing, oh, wow, hey. Prime example, not trying to aim. Because even then, I harbor nothing against the woman. I find it really weird that a lot of land in Hawaii was being brought up after the fires, and that the fires took place. Well, anyway, I'm not going to smell like tinfoil. I'm just going to say it feels a little weird. Anyway, digging into this, the people who are worshipping these idols, the people who are worshipping these ways of doing it, they're put to shame. I mean, I cannot tell you how many stories I have heard, and the reason that Oprah or Dr. Oz or so many people come to mind is because I've heard stories and seen people live out of, oh, I'm going to do this advice because they're the one who's going to set it right. And it's why when people lean into Gates or Bezos or Musk or Trump or Biden or pick a name, I'm nauseous and saddened. Because I see the cycle again. People worshipping idols and not realizing it's going to put them to shame. We're supposed to worship these things. We're supposed to worship Yahweh, and we do that with worship. By putting everything we've got into what we're doing. In everything we got. Even I'll give you an example, right? Because I know a lot of the religion side of things of like, oh, you have to work yourself to the death. No. I mean, if you are having a meal, have the meal. Be there with the people you're having it with. Enjoy the conversation. Take in the moment. Be glad for the flavors, the sensations. When you're on a walk, take in the day. The beauty of the clouds, the colors of the blues in the sky, the greens of the colors around you, the blues, the reds, any color of the spectrum that's before you that God has made. Any part of the creation we get a part of that Him working through human hands has made. Because the houses are amazing. And He gave us the idea of how to make them. Gave the engineer, the designer, the builder, the constructor, all of the gifts. Does that mean everybody used them? No. But what a world it would be if we truly lived in such a way that our muchness was used. Instead of worrying about, oh, what about the money and the cost of people getting the goods there? Do you have any idea how many people and streamers out there do full-on trucker rig setups that have a functional version of a trucking rig in their houses? They just don't have the licenses and prefer doing that. I mean, could you imagine? If people were just allowed to follow their muchness, how quickly the world would move on because it was more interested in getting what it needed done instead of the red tape in the way. As far as idols are concerned, the red tape is one too. That we trade freedom for safety, that we trade free will for somebody above us saying, I will take care of you. Only God can say that, because the rest of us don't have manuals and are making it up the best we can as we go along. A truth that I really wish more kids were introduced to, not so that they could be afraid, but so they could be ready for it when they become adults, to understand we're all guessing at it, kiddo. But I've got a little piece because of what I've been through, and you've got a little piece because of what you've been through. And that person does, and that person does, and that person does. And maybe if we all took a minute to share each other's little pieces and to hear each other, we could forgive each other and love each other enough that the darkness of this world and the path it's on wouldn't have to be our focus anymore. That we can live kingdom mentality as we await for our Messiah to return, our anointed one who sets it right. Because when you worship the hard and fake foolish things of this world, you end up in terror and put to shame. Because how can something fake protect you when it's less real than you are? Only the real can protect us. And the only true real one is the I Am. Yahweh. The sovereign source who makes us all. Rather than the idols we worship, that cause us to be afraid along the way. May his favor be upon you. Know that you're loved. I'll see you in the next one.